Well, hello and welcome to WAM Wednesday for Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. I hope you're having a great month. We're almost halfway. We'll be halfway tomorrow. So if you hit me for Thrive Thursday, we'll be at the halfway point. I think we got 30. No, we got 31. So I have to be like 15 and a half. So Thursday night, reach out to me. We'll be halfway. We're going to talk today. We're going to do our accountability session, and then we're going to start part one. Got a two-part series on financial therapy. I told you we were going to be mixing it up here for the rest of the month. We're going to start out with some financial therapy. Change your money beliefs and change your life, because a lot of time it's the beliefs about money that really are getting us hung up. So we're going to go over that. Got an ebook that I've done, and we'll have that for you as well if you want a copy of that. But for right now, let's get to our accountability. So we're going to switch gears here. I'm going to pop up the accountability thing right there for you. Make that bigger. I'm going to get out of the way. So we'll get this ball rolling. Here we go. All right. Well, let's start out as we always do with the percentage of key actions that you executed last week. Again, that's just a percentage. We're talking math here. And as you know, 15 and a half days times 2 is 31. So math is accurate here at A to B for me. But, success is really what it boils down to. It's just math. It's just a numbers game like anything else. So we want to look at these key actions. And so I go through your planner and get you may call them key productive indicators. Don't call them to-dos, because to-dos are really not key actions. Key actions are things that are really things that are going to make a difference in you getting to your goal for the week. Picking up the milk is one of those things. Well, unless your goal is to make the wife extremely happy, that might work out. But we're talking about some of your major goals for the week here. And just go through, count up how many key actions you intended to do and how many you actually did. And let's get a percentage there. Again, the percentage is not a pass or fail. When we do our mentoring and our coaching with you, we will look at those percentages. And if you got a really low percentage and you're hitting your goals, then maybe our goals aren't big enough. If you've got a really high percentage and not hitting your goals, maybe your goals are a little bit too big. So we want to, or maybe we're not doing the right actions. So the only way we can figure it out is to look at this and get it. But the best way is to get that percentage, so we'll know how we can start the discussion for the week. Well, I always want to talk about what victories from the past week you're most proud of. And if you're not one of our coaching clients, just do this for yourself. Just grab this every week and self-discipline yourself. If you're not disciplining yourself, if you are disciplining yourself, then others won't have to, right? So just get in the habit of doing it to yourself and making sure you get there. But if you need a little help, don't hesitate to reach out to us. But listen, you always want to know what victories you have from past week that you're proud of. It doesn't have to be one of your key actions. Most of the time, it is related to that, because that's really what we're concentrating on. But it could be anything that you were real proud of. Last week, I went out front and cleared out the garden for my wife on Saturday, and that only took like 3 hours of well, I won't say that word, but I was down on my knees a lot that day and working, but got it cleared out. So that was a victory. Really wasn't one of my key actions for the week, but I was certainly proud and go back and look at it. And see what we got there. Actually, it's like kind of a sidebar. I found as I was digging up, you gotta get deep to get those root bulbs and everything sometimes when you let things get out of hand. And I found a snake nest down there with 14 black snake eggs. So that was kind of a surprise. Like, oh, hey. So Mama's been close, but anyway, in fact, we found Mama out there, me and the dog, the other day. But anyway, get back on track here. But I was proud of that. Got that done, and had some other things I did outside that. So it doesn't have to be necessarily one of your key actions or those types of things. And then what do you most need to improve upon? And we want to look at this every single week, because even if you had an awesome week, there's always some little areas that you could have improved on. Always want to be getting better, want to be the best we can be. This isn't a beat up session. None of the accountability sessions are meant to beat you up. We always talk about that. Accountability isn't, getting lashes with a noodle or anything. We're just here. We want to try and help you if we can help you. So, but if you're doing the self-discipline mode, you need to be real with yourself. But again, don't beat yourself up all the time. Just see what you need to improve upon and work on that for next week. And then always put your gratitudes in here, because as we get through the week, we just forget about the things that we really have in our life. We ignore those things, or it's just kind of like driving a car. Sometimes you get in and start it, and you get somewhere and you don't even realize it, and how you even got there sometimes. And that's how we treat our life a lot of times. We take for granted the things, like our spouse or our significant other, or the home we live in, or just fresh air, the sunshine, a buddy that comes by, a good neighbor, whatever it is, just put those things down there. You don't have to do it ad nauseum every day, but a couple of things every day that you're grateful for. Mine, generally start with God's grace, and I follow that right up with Jan's grace. Both of those in my life, and then of course just friends and family, whatever it is. But put your gratitudes out there, because we don't want to. Last thing we want to do is get into a big old pity party here about, oh, my life is so bad compared to theirs. No, don't be comparing yourself. This is your life, and it's you're unique and wonderfully made, and so just be grateful for that. All right. While I'm looking here, I've still got the banner up here. I'm going to hide the banner so you can see this a little bit better. The next thing is what I will do to live the next week to the fullest. Again, we've got 4 major areas that kind of encompass all of our goal areas. These aren't the 4 goal areas, but they do encompass those. But you want to look at what you're going to do with your relationships, and relationships could be, family, could be at work, could be some social groups, could be your bowling team, whatever it is, But what are you going to do next week to work on those relationships and make those fun and strong? And recreation, what are you going to do? And again, a lot of these can overlap. Personal and health. What are you going to do to make that really peak performance and make everything tick in your body and mind and spirit this coming week? And then your work. Work is always part of it, but we just want to try and keep some balance between relationship, recreation, personal and health, and work, so we don't get lopsided in our life. Balance is everything, and you want to just try and keep as much balance as you can in your life. But take a look at these areas, concentrate on them every single week, and just write in there what you intend to do for this coming week. And then set your goals. Set your goals for this week. I've got spaces for 4 on this sheet. Again, if you don't have this sheet, reach out to us. We can get you the PDF. But this is in the Phoenix Journal. We get this right out of the Phoenix Journal, which is really what we advocate here at A to B for me. I think it's just the best way ever to keep everything in one place. If you don't have one, go up to atobforme.com/store and get you one. Just click the Phoenix Journal thing. It'll take you over to my good friend Jeff Bezos' site, Amazon, and we'll get one out to you in a couple of days. All right. We'll look at the commercials over. Look at your goals. You got places there for your key actions, the things you need to do. And again, you want to make these goals SMART goals. So you want to be specific, actionable, and measurable. Make sure you get those things in there. You don't need 4. You can just have 1 for the week. If you want to make one of these a to-do list, go ahead and do that. But this is just something you want to go back every single day and review, and every single night, to make sure that you're on track and not forgetting, not letting your subconscious forget what you need to be doing this week. Then what am I looking forward to the most this week? And if I could accomplish just one thing this week, what would it be? Again, those aren't necessarily may not even be goal related, but what are the things that you're looking forward to doing, and that'll help us in our counseling sessions and mentoring sessions as well. Then, if you got some actions and habits that you need to change for your key actions, here's your habit tracker here, and what you do is simply write it down: what you need to be doing, what you should be doing, what you want to change. And your aim is how many times you intend to do that this week. Then check off the days that you do it, and if your aim equals the number of check marks, and give you a check mark on the right side at the end of the week, and that can be something that you can put on your what I'm most proud of for next week. All right, well, that is quick and easy. There it is. We do it every week because we just want to make sure that you don't forget to do it, and also for folks who just tune in, we want to make sure you get the opportunity to understand what we do here at A to B for me to help you get to where you need to be. All right, well, let me get rid of that, and we will bring up ta-da, we'll bring up our financial therapy. Change your money beliefs and change your life. This is a two-part series I've got for you. We're going to do half of it today on Wednesday during our WAM, and we're going to finish it up on Friday, which finished strong Friday. And what we've got for you here, if you want to reach out, this is really excerpts from my book, Financial Therapy, Change Your Money Beliefs and Change Your Life. And if you want a copy of that, just reach out to me here at a2bforme.com or put something in comments, and we'll shoot you over a PDF of that. But we're not going to go through everything in the book, but we're going to hit the highlights. There's some other exercises in the book that you can go through, that I go through with my personal mentees. But feel free to grab the book. And again, if you're doing self-discipline, go ahead and get in there and get that rolling. But there's some really key observations in there for you. All right. Well, the introduction, of course, that's me there, if you don't know who I am. But the introduction to this whole financial therapy thing is, if you haven't heard of it, it is a growing field. I mean, there's a lot of folks out there that are going through financial therapy. And financial therapy, just like any kind of other therapy that you might have, but this focuses on the emotional and psychological roots of financial behaviors that create financial stress. Because I'll tell you, about 75%, at least on one report that we got, 75% of all Americans are out there saying that finances and money is one of the major stresses that they have in their life. And you probably believe that we've really turned into materialistic society. And again, people always claim that I'm materialist because I want the ghost Rolls Royce, got the Aston Martin and things, and they're like, boy, you all about material things. Well, no, I'm not. I mean, I just soon have them and not have to pay for them. But everybody else wants money for those things. So if they want money for them, then I'm just gonna get some money because I like to have nice things. but also, I mean, I want money to support the charities that we support as well. So, but I tell you, it can really get to be turn you into a big mess. And so we're going to go through some ideas here just on beliefs. But we are not financial therapists here at A to B for me. We're just here to try and help you change behaviors and beliefs. But if you got some deep-rooted issues, it's just like if we have some things in our health section where we talk about things that you could do to get up and get yourself healthy. If those things aren't working, then you need to seek professional help. And in this case, if what we're going through here doesn't work for you, then you need to get out and just look in the mirror and say, dude, you need some help, and go get you some real psychological advice. But we're going to go through this. Hopefully these things will help for you. But by addressing the beliefs, thoughts, and habits related to your financial life, it's possible to bring about real changes. And we see that in everything at A to B for me. So it all starts, again, our A to B for me strategy starts with thoughts, because the thoughts are going to really trigger the beliefs and help change those beliefs or create those beliefs, and through action, which is the red zone down there in the bottom right corner, we'll get to habits, which are the black zone. And again, if you can't get the thoughts, action, and habits right, you're just not going to be able to get that character developed the way you need to reach your destiny. But the source of the ineffective belief really doesn't matter. There are a lot of sources you could have out there. A lot of it's just maybe growing up. Your parents, your teachers, those types of things. Sometimes the source is misconceptions of your personal observations about money. Maybe somebody with a lot of money was a real jerk to you, and you say, "Well, everybody's got money is real jerk." Well, I can guarantee you they're not. I've got some very, very good friends that have tons of money, and they know what to do with it. It's hard to donate $1 million to a school to help kids out if you don't have $1 million, right? So I'm telling you, but there's people that do good with it, just like anything else. There's broke people that are mean and broke people that are nice, right? So there's no money. Money is not the reason; it's just the people. But you got to look back at that source. What is it? Maybe you had some personal experiences that really messed you up. And again, the subconscious is taking this over and saying, "Hey, this is the way it is." And what we need to do is educate the subconscious that no, that isn't necessarily the way it is. is, right? The way you perceived it to be. But recognizing and addressing harmful money beliefs is very important to your financial progress because it's a stumbling block for yourself. Again, you have to win over your subconscious mind because whether you know it or not, it's back there and it's running all the time. And it's doing reruns, instant replay. And it's not instant replaying all the good calls and all the good shows. It's doing reruns of the bad ones, but because I say these beliefs can create and they can just limit your reality. So we want to be sure that we get those things in a proper perspective for you. And I love this quote by Maxwell Maltz. Some of you may have heard, at least heard of the book. Some of you probably weren't even born when this book was published. But Psycho-Cybernetics back in the day, I tell you, we were all into that. And there's a picture of Maxwell in his book there with his pipe. But he says, realizing that our actions, feelings, and behavior are the result of our own images and beliefs gives us the level that psychology has always needed for changing personality. So it's our images of those beliefs that's really how your personality does change, and that's one of the big keys of Psycho-Cybernetics was, hey, let's change your behaviors and change the images that you have, and we can change your life. And again, changing personality is really nothing more than habit change and getting your character in the right perspective. All right, well, let's get rolling here. How beliefs create and limit your reality. We're going to start out with some basic core principles here for you in this first session, and we're going to really dig in more in the second session. But beliefs influence your level of self-confidence. They just always do, because it affects your ability to learn and apply new financial habits or any habits. And confidence also impacts your ability to pursue financial goals and persevere. Now, we just got off of a series on confidence and how to get that going, and how to help it reach your goals. But confidence always impacts your ability to pursue financial goals and really just to hang in there and get it going. So when we're talking about beliefs, we talk about beliefs in all your goal areas, but it really does affect financial in a big way. Beliefs also alter how you process information. Information that's contrary to your belief is quickly discarded and ignored. And again, it's those beliefs that we have to look at, and where did those come from? and how are we going to get those altered? Because beliefs create limits in your life. It's almost impossible to rise above your beliefs. It's just difficult to do that. If you believe that you'll never be wealthy, you're right. You're never going to be wealthy if you believe that. So changing your belief is crucial. And beliefs alter results. If you believe that money changes people for the worse, you won't take the steps to accumulate significant savings for retirement or anything else in your life because you believe that it's bad. So we have to get those beliefs, and a lot of times talk about limiting beliefs, and really it's kind of the same thing. Things that are limiting you in moving forward, but beliefs really do create and limit your reality. And here's how a couple other sidebars here is your beliefs affect your thoughts, which again affect your actions and ultimately create your life circumstances. So again, the subconscious is controlling everything, and that's what A to B for me. We start with your thoughts. And then once we get your thoughts right, then we can get into action. Because if we hop into action and our thoughts aren't right, and we hit a stumbling block, we hit a roadblock in our action, we're not going to have the belief that we can make it forward. And so we're just going to do what? We're going to quit. I will say, oh, yep, you were right, subconscious. I can't do this. So if we get your beliefs right and get the subconscious on board, let it know we're going to go through these actions. And yeah, we may stumble, we may fail here a little bit, but we're going to keep going, or we're going to zig and zag, or whatever we got to do to get where we need to be to get those habits changed. Then they're automatic, like driving that car. And then you can create your life circumstances, which is basically working on your character and getting to your destiny. But changing your beliefs can be the most powerful way to alter your life. Altering your beliefs changes this entire cycle. And we talked about the cycle before. If you wasn't in on that one with the tour bus and the tour guide and where's the gas come from, what's the gas, and who's who's on first, what's on second. That whole series on that. You want to go back and catch that probably, but or just reach out to me and I can go over that with you. But beliefs are the core of financial challenges. They just really are, and they're really the core of most of your challenges. But today, again, we're just talking about financial. But enhanced beliefs lead to enhanced thoughts, actions, and results. That's the bottom line. But attacking your negative behaviors is a less effective route to success. Instead, we want to focus on your beliefs, because if we're just attacking all the negative behaviors that you're doing, we're hopping up and trying to nail habit change before we have our thought foundation in place, and have our action routines in place. So you want to be sure we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. We want to focus on those beliefs. Again, the reason why most people fail is because they don't have the strong enough foundation. And the foundation for success, again, are your thoughts and your actions. And if you don't get those right, you're not going to be able to change your beliefs. So we want to get in there and we want to work on that and get up there and work on our beliefs and change our habits. All right. Well, the first thing you want to do, and it's again in the ebook, it's a little bit got place in there to do this stuff, but you just got a piece of paper, you can do it. But you want to make a comprehensive list of your beliefs regarding money, both the positive and the negative ones. And a lot of folks are out there. Like I said, you may have had some situations where you come across people that had a lot of money and they were arrogant, or that guy in that Maserati, just flew by me, or whatever. Well, there are some people like that. I mean, there's a lot of silver spoon kids out there. A lot of people that didn't earn it, they don't have respect for it. Probably the kid that was driving a Maserati, his dad probably is still driving a Ford truck or something. But because that when you get into those second generations, I'm watching the movie Succession again, or the series Succession again, and that's kind of a perfect example. Dad worked all his life and then got the kids that are just all screwed up, and that kind of happens. But in fact, the whole family's kind of screwed up, I guess. But we want to make a comprehensive list of what your beliefs are, the positive ones and the negative ones. And a lot of folks are like, well, money is the root of all evil. No, that's not the quote. The quote was, the love of money is the root of all evil. When you love it more than you love and the other things in life and the other things they can do for you, then you've got some issues. But you want to address your beliefs, because it's the most effective way to create a new financial future. And unless we pull these things out and look at them, again, it's almost like a Ben Franklin close, where you put a line down the middle and you got the pros and cons. What are the pros and cons of money? And you have to weigh those things out, and let's get these negative beliefs ferreted out so that we know what we're dealing with. But with more supportive beliefs, it's going to be much easier to create the habits necessary to earn, save, and accumulate wealth. Again, it's all about habit formation. And we're not going to be able to do that until we get the belief that we have a reason to do that. See, because if you say, well, I'm going to save some money, and then all of a sudden you see something nice and shiny that you want, and you say, well, I'm going to go get that. Well, no, that's not how it works, right? There was a reason why we were saving money, and if we went through the proper process, what would have happened is when you're saving money, you see that shiny thing, your subconscious would have said, man, that'll be nice one day when we save enough money we can get that thing. That'd be pretty cool. Let's get some goals out there so that we might be able to get that, right? Let's add that to our vision board. Let's add that, put some action steps to try and get that, instead of just saying, hey, yeah, let's go clear out our savings account and buy that. But you have to get, again, it's got to be a habit in order to accumulate the proper wealth. There's a quote from Chuck Flanagan. You might know him from the Fight Club. Now, I'm not advocating that you read the book The Fight Club, but he's got this. I wrote The Fight Club, but this is kind of interesting quote that he had out there. But it says, the unreal is more powerful than the real, because nothing is as perfect as you can imagine it, because it's only intangible ideas, concepts, beliefs, fantasies that last. Stone crumbles, wood rots, people, well, they die. But things as fragile as a thought, a dream, a legend, they can go on and on. And so the point of the quote is the fact that, hey, uh, if you got, it goes back to Napoleon Hill, what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, right? But you get these the thoughts, you get your dreams, these type of things. I mean, they go on and on and on. And a lot of times we look back. He talks about legend. You go back and look at people and say, "Man, that guy was incredible," and it's just stuck in your mind that they were incredible. And sometimes you go back and say, "Well, when you get older, so, well, maybe he wasn't that incredible, maybe because I can do that now." But that legend is still it's sealed up, and that whole thing is just encapsulated, so it's protected over time. But it's amazing what when he says there are concepts, beliefs, and fantasies that last. It's these intangible ideas that hang out there. So just get out there, imagine it, dream it, and do it. Or a lot of people say, be it. So kind of an interesting quote. But and the Fight Club, yeah, if you haven't read it, you might want to read it. It's kind of interesting. But I think in Texas they even banned the book from. Of course, people are banning books all over the place anyway. But anyway, all right. What it takes to achieve a state of financial health. Here's some keys here. Because financial health isn't just how much money you make, right? There are people earning over $1 million each year with desperate financial challenges. So it's control. There are multiple components to financial prosperity and stability. And do you have all the financial components under control? So we're going to look at these things and see what the components are that you need to keep under control. And as we go through here, some of us are like, well, duh. Yeah, well, duh. Why aren't you doing it, right? That's really what it comes up to. And a lot of times, fellas, you don't want to go through this with your wife because your wife is like, well, duh, why are we doing that? Or maybe some of you ladies don't want to do it with your husband because you're out there spending too much money. But we just need to get real. Again, discipline yourself or others, and others won't have to. So get up there, and if you do these things, you're really, really going to be look back and say, man, I'm glad I came across that Hastings guy. And he woke me up on this, or reminded me of this. So a lot of this stuff I'm going through is just a reminder. You guys have already, this, but you just haven't done it. So let's just take a minute here and let's get it rolling and get it started for yourself. All right, well, here we go. Here we got 8 components here. We're going to go through. Here's the top 4. First one's budget. I mean, boy, that's a nasty word, isn't it? But I'll tell you what, a budget's necessary for everybody. You got to know how much you're spending and where you're spending it. You just do. And I know when we went into the compound effect, he was, Darren Hardy would say, always get a notepad and every day just write down, what you're spending your money on, then look back on it and then you can do it that way, but you can always just have programs. I mean, I painstakingly in all of our credit card bills, I enter every single thing into our ledger so that I can sit back and at the end of the month or end of the week, whenever I want to, and say, hey, where's our money going? And you can adjust those things because you can really, really get out of whack. But a budget is necessary. You just need it. It can't be. Well, let's see. I got $1,000 on my credit card, so I can spend $9.99. That's not called a budget. You got to get a budget out there and make sure that you know what you can spend. An income that surpasses your bills. Does it ever happen? You got more month than you got money? Does that happen? Well, that might be some issues there. Financial woes happen when bills outpace your income. You trying to, old adage, trying to keep up with the Joneses. I lived in Dallas. It's impossible to keep up with the Joneses down there. They own the football team. But we want to increase income and lower the bills. I mean, this is just common sense. But common sense is lacking these days. And as we get rolling, sometimes we allow that to happen. Again, it could go back to the basics of just, I'm going to really upset some people here, of dadgum, why don't you get you a thermos of coffee instead of going to Starbucks? I mean, my goodness, why do you want to spend $5 when you can spend literally 5 or 10 cents and get the same coffee? So do it at home, and get you a nice thermos and get out there and it'll stay hot all day. And I mean, I've got them for my camping that, I mean, that you can hike for 10 miles and stuff's still hot and stuff's still cold. So get out there and find some new stuff, but do something to increase your income, but lower your bills. I mean, one or the other, right? Hopefully both. But an emergency fund, people just don't have those anymore. I mean, you should really have, I mean, life is neither perfect nor predictable, so you just don't know what's going to happen. And sooner or later, an unexpected occur is going to happen. I mean, if you're a homeowner, my goodness gracious, it's going to happen. That's why I really kind of advocate some of these home warranty things, because if your AC goes out, your refrigerator, whatever it is goes out, you don't want something that's going to cover that. But you should have some money left over. I mean, a lot of folks during COVID, of course, in 2020, lost their job, and man, you go 6 months without income, you're dead, right? Some people you go 2 weeks without income and you're dead. So, but you definitely need at least kind of a marginal 6 month worth of expenses set back. So if it's something happened to one or both of you, or whatever, however your family's set up, that you can survive and make it through that. So my goodness, start setting up an emergency fund, and these things are really, really simple. Again, get with a financial planner. You can get with us. We can give you some core ideas, but just taking a certain percentage of each paycheck and putting in these different areas, and that will get you set over time. Again, it's not a quick fix sometimes, but it'll get there. But how you gonna get there if you don't start? Minimal amount of debt. This is a huge one. This is really, really why that percentage of 75% of all Americans' main stressor is money, is because of the amount of debt that we have. We are just a debt-ridden society, and it's very easy to create more debt that you can handle, because those credit cards are very easy to get in most cases, and you get out there and then you just charge them up, and now you got all of them full. Now what you gonna do? Next thing you know, you got $50,000-$60,000 worth of credit card debt, and your interests are $400, $500, $600 a month, trying to pay those things off. So you got to look at it, but you got to avoid debt whenever possible. Just get out there, try and use a PayPal account or something that debits it directly from your account, debit card, something. But get out there, and you want to protect yourself and protect your accounts, but try and just and go cash. It's hard to go cash because kind of turning into a cashless society, but through PayPal and things like that, you can debit directly out of your account, so that you're not getting to an interest situation where you're always having to pay somebody for the right to use their money. But anyway, minimal amount of debt, that's what we want to go after. And of course, right with that is spending. It's easy to spend more than you make. I tell you, it just gets it to be a nightmare. And you like to purchase items that are out of your income bracket. Again, you've got champagne taste on a beer budget, right? You can't do it. You just can't. You have to learn to say no to yourself and say, no, we're not ready for that. No to your spouse, no to your family. I mean, it's hard to do. Now, if you don't want to say no, then get your butt in gear and get out there and make some more money. I've always, I always said, hey, we can't I can get out there and make some more money, so if we need, if the budget ain't right, we'll just go make some more money, right? So that's all, but there's a point in time where maybe that's not going to be feasible anymore. So that's why budgeting and planning is so important. But watch your spending, and that's that I said, you get it and you just monitor it and make sure that you know where your money's going, and then save regularly. And again, this is nothing more than an automatic debit into another account, folks. Just put, if wherever you work, just have it where automatically, put 10% of whatever you make over into another account, just separate it. That's possible these days. I mean, it can happen. If not, do it yourself. But it's a lot easier for it just to be done automatic, because once you get it in your hands, trying to put it somewhere else is a tough situation. And just try and forget about that money over there, right? Just let it accumulate. But you want to save a percentage of each and every paycheck. Just put it back. With regular saving, anyone can retire in style. And it's amazing, 20 and 30-year-olds out there, if you would just get in and do this financial therapy and start putting money back and it's amazing the compounding, the effect of compound interest over all those years. It's so easy when you've got 30, 40 years. It's not so easy when you got like 5, right? But when you got 30, 40 years out there to get that nest egg built for yourself, so you don't have to worry about things. I mean, retirement to me is it's just a word. I'm never going to retire, but some folks like to do that. But you're never going to be able to at least sit back and say, I don't have to work if I don't want to. And that's the kind of situation you want to be in. But start saving regularly. And I'm going to add a ninth in here, right here, where it says I think you should start putting money back for tithes too. Start helping your local charities and local churches, and with your gifts and obviously your prayers as well. Investing your savings appropriately. This goes right with it. Get with someone and be sure that you're putting it in the right accounts. Right now, S&P is going up. Dow Jones is going up. Everything's going up. We have been for several months here. So just about anything you put in, everybody looks like they're a stock market wizard right now because about everything you put it into is making money because it's going along with the market, but sooner or later the market's going to turn the other way. And so if you're not a day trader or not really in control of your stocks and things, you want to be sure that you've got a great way to save and invest. And so you might want to get with a professional if you're not managing those things yourself. I highly recommend you get the knowledge and manage them yourself. That'll get you out of management fees and other things. But investing your savings appropriately is very, very important, so look into that. You got to have your 401ks, your IRAs, these types of things set up and get them in the right mix for your age. Sometimes it's more aggressive, sometimes it's more of a bond fund. So you want to at least know what's going on with this. And the necessary insurance to prevent financial catastrophe. Insurance is huge. Insurance is nothing but risk management, and that's what we talk about when we get into our stock trader stuff with our one-on-one groups. Risk management is so important. The serious illness, fire, or death can derail the best laid plans, and so we want to make sure that you're out there and you're protecting what needs to be protected. Now, you do want to understand that insurance is not about making money. Insurance is just about protecting, what you have. So you want to protect against the devastation of a loss of a home, right? Those types of things. You don't want to, life insurance for yourself. Make sure that the family is set. So that you don't have to put everybody on welfare, when you're gone. So look at these things, set these things up in a budget. If you get them set up early enough, it's not going to cost you. Long-term care is another one that can really, really eat into your finances if you're not going to self-insure. If you've got 5 or 10 million and retire, you probably don't need long-term care insurance. But if you've got that covered, you can get. I would suggest you get it all paid off before you're 40 years old, and now we don't need to worry about it, right? Just get it done. But take a look at these things and make sure you got the proper insurances in place, and we do that here with Informed and Insured is one of my companies, so we're happy to talk to you about your insurance needs as well. All righty. Well, here we got another quote from Daniel Kahneman. He wrote, "Thinking Fast and Slow," and he's written a couple of things, but that's one of the things I really know about him. Now, I would suggest maybe you get that book. It's really, really good, Thinking Fast and Slow. And if people are failing, they look inept. If people are succeeding, they look strong and good and competent. That's called the halo effect, right? You're walking around, you got this halo on me. He's golden, right? But your first impression of a thing sets up your subsequent beliefs. If the company looks inept to you, you may assume everything else they do is inept. And that's true. First impressions are really really key. But again, if you're succeeding, you look strong, good, and competent, and it's just called the halo effect. And that's why we want to talk about when you get there's that air of expectancy in all our beliefs, and get yourself subconscious on board, and then you will gravitate the right people. You'll gravitate the right things. All the things from the universe that will start coming to you once you start changing those beliefs and getting your belief systems in going in the right direction. And you'll be amazed how your world will change. All right, negative and positive money beliefs. Let's talk about this a little bit. It's necessary to recognize which money beliefs are negative and which are positive. Okay, and we talked about that earlier. You want to get a list out. But the positive beliefs are those that allow you to keep the 8 components I just talked about necessary for financial health under control. So go back and look at those 8 key components, and the positive beliefs are the ones that are going to help you get those done. The negative beliefs get in the way of addressing the 8 components. So take that list that you did of all the positive things you like about money and the negative things the thoughts you beliefs you have about money, and let's hook those up with these 8 components I just went through, and let's cull that out and work on that process and make sure that we get our beliefs conducive with the action plan that we need to have going forward. And then here's some examples of beliefs that keep you poor. Okay, now poor, broke, whatever you want to call it. One of them is, rich people are greedy. We hear that all the time, right? A lot of people just say, "I don't deserve to be wealthy." They've got this mindset that they didn't grow up with wealth. Nobody around them was wealthy. They heard all these years that, you don't want to be wealthy because it'll mess you up, and if folks grow up poor and they all of a sudden come into wealth, that does happen a lot. You see a lot of lottery winners that never had anything. All of a sudden they got all this money, and their life does get worse because they don't know how to control it. One of the biggest things, a lot of the ball players out there that never had money growing up, and they get these huge contracts, and all of a sudden these huge contracts, mess them up. All of a sudden you've got access to all these nasty drugs and all these other things, and fast cars and fast women and everything else, and all of a sudden you're messed up. But again, you have to know how to control yourself. I'll have to do a lot of things I don't like to become wealthy. Well, yeah. You will. The people that are successful and wealthy, they do things that other people aren't willing to do. So yeah, you will. My friends won't like me if I'm rich. Well, some of them will, some of them won't. A lot of them you may not want to be around, right? And we talk about the group that you're around anyway. You're a lot of them, they don't want you to get successful because it'll make them look bad. But that's you don't let that hold you back. Again, here it is. Money is the root of all evil. We hear that all the time. I can't be spiritual and have a lot of money. That is just total bunk. I've heard that so many times. It just really ticks me off because it's just not true. How can you possibly help charities? How can you possibly, we have the Camp Open Arms. How can we possibly send all those kids to camp if we didn't have money to support that project? It's just ridiculous. We've got missions in Costa Rica and all over, and that one just really, I can get on soapbox all day about that one. I'm disrespecting my parents if I make more money than they do. Well, no. I mean, times are different. Generations are different. No, you're not disrespecting your parents. Your parents, when they hopefully, when they brought you up, they wanted more for you than they could possibly ever have. That's the way I feel with my kids. I want them to do better and way better than me. The challenge is out there, But no, you're not going to disrespect your parents if you make more money than they do. They want you to do well. It's hard to make a lot of money. Well, it is. It goes back to doing things you don't want to do. It is hard to make a lot of money, but once you get it rolling and get your habits right and get the action steps, and we talked about that earlier in our weekly accountability meeting. Get those key actions going, it'll start flowing for you. If I had a lot of money, I'd probably just lose it anyway. Well, Yep, that could happen. but if you hang around the right people, get the right counselors, get the right mentors, be around the right people who do things the right way, that won't happen. I shouldn't have more money than I need. Well, okay, well that goes back into the materialistic thing, right? Well, if you don't get enough to be comfortable, then start helping some other people out. How are you going to help other people out if you don't have anything to help them out with? So if that's your attitude, then get what you need and give the rest away. That's simple. A simple way to fix that. But these are just some examples that they're keeping people down. But here's some ones that will help you go the other direction, right? Money results from providing value to the world. That is true. I mean, if you're out there and you're doing something great for people, and you're getting rewarded for that. And a lot of it, you say, well, man, I don't know what I do and what this other guy does. We spend the same amount of time, but I don't seem to be making what he's making. Well, we'll figure out what they're doing. Again, that's one of the reasons A to B for me when we look at all of our current and past thought leaders to see what you could do to be more successful. Money provides freedom and choice. It just does. I guarantee you wouldn't be doing the things that you're doing. Hopefully you get money. You're not going to be in bed till 2 in the afternoon and out partying every night and carousing around. But you're going to still be doing the right things. But it provides you the freedom and choices to do what you want to do. Here's a big one for me. I can help others with my money. That's just huge. How can you do the things that you want to do to help people if you don't have money? I mean, if you're strapped, how are you going to help anybody else? My financial freedom will happen when I have effective beliefs, thoughts, and habits. And that's exactly true. That's how it's going to happen. We got to get the beliefs there first, get the thoughts, the actions, and the habits. That's how we do it. It's easy and enjoyable. It really is easy and enjoyable once you get it going because you're not stressed anymore. It's just natural. If you start this plan, if you start it early enough, then it would just be natural. You wouldn't miss the money because you never had the money, right? Yeah, I mean, you base your budget on what the net is, not what the gross is. So your net is after putting money away for savings, after putting money away for your charities, all these things, and getting that. Again, the budget is easy to follow, create it and follow. Just get it out there and just say, hey, this is how it works. And some of you might be overboard right now. It might be overloaded. You might need to make some changes. If you're in a house that's way too big and it's strapping you, I tell you what, right now is a great time to sell your house because you're going to get more money for it right now, July 2021, than in a long time. Almost a decade. And get you in something smaller that you can handle. Pay off your bills with some of that and get yourself a good time to reset if you need to do that. I'm in real estate too, so give me a call if you want to sell your house. But the only buy things I need. And that, I tell you, that is so true. You got to look at these things. And again, if in the compound effect, we talked about the compound effect of money as well. Is this thing worth 12 times what I'm paying for it? Because through compounding, that's probably what's going to be worth to you in 10 years. So what the loss of that income is going to be, because you could have put that $200 for that thing that is going to sit on a shelf and you really don't need. You could have put it in an asset class that would make you plenty of money. And I tell you what, hoarding, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And when you buy all this stuff, if you're never going to use it or use it one time, just go rent it or have someone else do it. But only buy the things that I need. Okay. All right. Here we go. Another quote, John Dewey. This is an old one, but he's got a couple of them you probably should get, old books you should get. One is How We Think, and the other one is Democracy and Education. A couple of his classics. I'm helping you fill up your bookshelf with this session here. But the path of least resistance and least trouble is a mental rut already made. It requires troublesome work to undertake the alternation of old beliefs, and you just got to get out of that rut, because the old adage that there's the frog is in the rut, right? And he's got to get out. He's got to get out because the truck's coming, right? I mean, he's been sitting in that rut all day, but all of a sudden you hear the rumble of that truck, and you're ready to help get out of that thing. So I'm telling you, folks, if your financial house isn't in order, truck's coming. So you need to get out of that rut and get things rolling. All right. Well, that is going to do it for part one. Next Friday, this Friday, we're going to be doing part two and get into really some more action steps for you. A couple more books that you could pick up could really start helping you get this thing rolling. All right. Well, we have spent about 48 minutes today, which is more than we should have, but I wanted to go ahead and get this financial therapy thing rolling for you, and then we will finish up on Friday. It won't be quite so long on Friday, maybe, but go back, review this again. If you want to get the ebook, reach out to me, and we're happy to get a copy of that to you, so you can have more of the workbook type situation going on for yourself. But anyway, have a great Wednesday. We'll be here tomorrow for Thrive Thursday, as we always are, at noon. So we've got a good one for you there. And then come back. Let's finish this up on Friday with Finish Strong Friday. Until then, keep moving in the direction of your dream.